Welcome to this Word of Hope. This is October 15th, Wednesday, and in full disclosure, I'm actually recording this a week in advance. Why am I doing this? This weekend I'm going on a trip that is part of an event organized by the Diocese of Tucson. And for me, this trip has a lot of significance that seems to be calling to me a lot of just the full swirl of what it means to live in the United States today. The purpose of the trip is to be a public witness, to preach a teaching of the Church of Solidarity and the pastoral care for migrants. We just celebrated the Jubilee year of hope in the weekend of the Migrant, on the weekend of the 4th and the 5th of October. And this event is sort of in continuation with that theme. It's an event where other bishops, priests, the organizers, lay people, we're going to walk across the border from Arizona to Mexico, and we're going to have a joint celebration of two nationalities, neighbors, and we're going to make sure that we see one another. And this is something I'm going to have to bring back. We have to talk about this with my fellow priests here in Denver, with my parishioners, with my brothers, all of whom I know fall on all sides of the spectrum, which I know all of us who were watching this do too. And this is where I'm caught in this swirl, because all of a sudden I hear all of these arguments: who's right, who's wrong, what's just, what's unjust. I hear us all talk about the principles from which we're arguing to justify, and having to fight for justice. But sometimes that justification leads us, as I see on both sides, incredible amount of an ability to compromise other virtues. It may very well compromise our charity. It might compromise our intellectual integrity, ability to speak truth, even if it's a truth we don't want, or to ignore truths simply to get what we want. And I think of just all of the different ways in which this dynamic, this tug, this polarization has stretched our humanity. I also know it's nothing new. We've been doing this for centuries upon centuries. Some of the earliest Christians were divided because one fought to preserve and highlight and push Christ's divinity, the majesty of God, that principle above all else to which we owe deference, majesty, worship, obedience. And there was another side who sought to preserve at all costs the humanity of Jesus, where never allowing that humanity to be at all compromised by some greater thing, but that the humanity itself was good and just. That may very well have allowed them to compromise things that would lead to their ability to see God. And they focused too much on the person. This is something to be invited to pray about. I invite you with me today to maybe enter into what might be a 2-day mini retreat to these questions. Jesus gives us a lot of woes today to the Pharisees and others, and so does Paul to his own community. And I truly believe that each one of these woes is directed at each one of us, not to the other, but to us. And we really need to ask God in a humble, honest way to kneel before the cross and ask God, Lord, where is this that you are speaking to me? Because Christ does have an answer. I invite you to pray with us today. And tomorrow, let us come back together and see where Christ may be speaking to us. God bless.